Shalom to journalist and author Tuvia Tenenbaum.
Shalom to you as well.
So we're talking about your new book, The Lies That Everyone Tell. That will be the
In
translation?
English, it's the lies they tell.
The Lies They Tell. Now, my first question is the following. This book, it's about America, we'll talk about it. It's about the U.S. and it's in Hebrew. Now, you go out against being politically correct, but the truth of the matter is, the fact that this is in Hebrew is a bit politically correct, because I don't know what's going to happen when this is going to be translated.
I don't know. I mean, actually, the original is in English. I write it in English. I don't write it in English.
You write in English?
I write in English.
Translate to Hebrew?
This is translated to different languages. My books are being translated to different languages, but always the original is English.
Now, you wrote it in English, you're saying, but the target audience, would you hope that Americans will read it? Because when they read it, they're going to get upset. That's
target
positive,
audience,
right?
first of all, just to understand, the target audience in the beginning, the ones that the publishing companies that commissions these books, it's in a series in Germany. It's a German publishing company. It's the most eyebrow German publishing company called Surkamp.
So this exists in German?
It's coming out October 6th. Basically, next month, early next month.
Okay.
In German.
Now, what is this about? And why will this will bother or intrigue American citizens?
What is this? It's like the other books about Israel, about Germany or whatever. It's the same idea. It's going on a journey for 6-7 months into a country, driving around it and finding people, whoever comes your way, never choose before, always randomly, and talk to the people and try to find out and figure out the culture, the people, the soul of the country.
Now, supposedly you knew America. You lived in America for how many years already?
Well, I came to America in 1981, but it's so different when you live in a country. For example, take that German book. I've been to Germany, I live in Germany too.
And your first book?
You know, the first book in this series. And I thought I knew Germany. And what was Germany for me? Germany for me was one of the greatest countries in the world. I love Germany. And Germany was where people are nice and human rights and caring for everybody. That was Germany. And very good to its Jews. That was Germany that I know before I started reading the book, before I started working on the book. Once I got the commission to write a book, I changed everything. You have to erase whatever you know about the country and thinking you're just dropped from Mars.
And then you learn things that were less positive.
And then you find the real truth. Because what happens when you live in a country, when you live in a place, you automatically, psychologically, this is the way our mental balance works. There is a psychological immune system that makes us usually choose the people that we think we like, makes us choose the people we think like us. You know, and that's what it is. It works automatically in every human being.
And your second book was, how did you translate that? Tfosset HaYehudi, Catch the Jew?
Yeah.
Catch the Jew, what
and the
was
same
that
thing,
about?
it's like they cited the same thing from the beginning. I was born in this country, I read Israeli news, and I decided that, you know, again, you have to erase everything you know about Israel and start from scratch. And then you find it, and the same thing I did about America.
So what did you learn about America?
What did I learn about America?
You called it The Lies.
Yeah, this is what it is. America there's a huge dichotomy. It's two opposites between the way America represents itself and the way America really is. The way America presents itself is a multicultural, multi-ethnic, diverse society. This is the way America represents, especially on the liberal side of it. You know, we are great. You know, it's a great country that we are united by a great idea called the Constitution, called liberty and freedom. But when you start talking to Americans, you realize that the diversity is imposed. It's not a real diversity.
But things have developed since the time of real racism, no? Since the time of slavery. You feel that nothing has developed?
In reality, in the core feelings of the people, nothing changed. And it's even worse. Because now we are afraid to say what you really think. In the old days, at least you said what you think. At least you didn't have this feeling, this always the pressure. Somebody might find out about it.
So once a white person used to go to a black person, beat him up, tell him he hates him, Isn't it better that people have the political correctness nowadays, at least not to beat each other up? You're saying that they hate each other, but at least they're not beating each other up.
Everything starts at the end. By the end of the day, like take Germany as an example. You know, the Weimar Republic was a great time, was the most democratic, but there was hate inside the people. They didn't like the Jews. We didn't do anything about it. It was the most democratic.
So what you're saying? It's like a volcano.
But by the end of the day, somebody is going to come and disrupt it all. And this is what happens in America. You talk about whites, you know, say, oh, I have so many black friends, for example. It says, when is the last time you went to a black man or black woman's home? When is the last time you visited them at their place? When is the last time you were in a black ghetto? When is the last time you went to the hood? When is the last time you really, a black man you invited to your house? Well, none of that ever happened for the most, like 90% of the cases.
But do you feel that this is something that could cause big changes in America and in the world?
I think yes.
Why?
I think, and in one example you see what the rise of Donald Trump. Donald Trump rose from nowhere. What does Donald Trump give to America? To the voters, to the minister
Zero
of
PC.
Zero PC. And that's exactly what it is. All of a sudden somebody comes and he talks like I think. This is what many Americans say to themselves. All of a sudden somebody dared to say what I think in public. I want to be like him.
Personally speaking, do you think that he will contribute to America with this attitude?
It depends. I mean, for one thing, nobody knows who is going to be elected, but eventually, if the Republican Party acted like the Democratic Party and gave its support to Donald Trump, or the Democrats gave its support to Hillary Clinton, his chances of winning are huge. But because the Republicans are not exactly working with him, and he's basically alone there, at least up to now, so it's hard to see how he'll win. He still can win, but it's hard to see how he'll win because he doesn't have the backing of the party. And also the American media, the good American media, or whatever they call the strong American media for the most part, which is basically liberal, recruited itself against him. I mean, the New York Times published an article, the New York Times published an article just last month, in August, published an article, and it's basically they admit that the moment Donald Trump, this is what he writes, the moment Donald Trump appeared on the scene, objectivity in journalism went out the window.
It's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant. So they basically say to you, we admit to you, from now on, what are you going to write about Donald Trump is going to be not true. American media worked so hard to present itself as an objective journalism. I mean, this was the basics, the basis, the foundation of American media. You know, at least claiming to be objective. You know, it's like, why would people read the New York Times? Why would people read Washington Post? Why would people listen to CNN or CNBC? Because we are different than the conservatives. We are objective. That's the idea of American journalism, the way they present themselves. And now they basically say, and the other thing, which is very, very important here in Israel, is what I found out is that American Jews. I've never seen people so self-hating as the American Jews, and the examples are numerous. It's like amazing how much hatred American Jews have of themselves. I'm excluding here the Orthodox Jews. I'm talking
Ashamed
about the majority.
of being Jews?
Ashamed of being Jews, or dedicate themselves to speak badly about Israel and about Judaism. And to find that out and to see that it's basically already psychotic, going to Jewish temples, seeing rabbis, Jewish leaders who speak so badly about themselves.
How does all this influence the international aspect, the international attitude and policy of America? Because that's what affects us at the end of the day.
I think that the more people know these things, the more people will not rely on America for anything. I think if you ask me, can you rely on America? No, you cannot rely on America. You cannot rely on America. They will move either way, whatever more comfortable. It's not based on ideology. And that's what's so, I mean, I would prefer somebody who hates me, who has an ideology of faith, than somebody who is lacking any ideology, who is just like spending his or her life in lies.
So we said
because that person, you can never move.
Now, this book you said is going to be translated into English. Is it ideal?
It's written in English.
Is it? It's going to be also published in English.
Yeah.
Is it important for you as an ideal that Americans will read this book? Do you feel this as a mission?
It's extremely important for me that Americans will read it. And what's amazing is that I still don't have a publisher for this. I might have to end up do a self-publishing of this book. Even though my books have been bestsellers, and sold hundreds of thousands of copies, there is still no American publisher which will be willing to publish this. And I've tried many on the conservative and on the reform lines.
And what do they say? This is too...
Tuvia, please, no.
Because of the topic and
Because
because of the
they're
agenda.
afraid of it. It's like it's no agenda. I mean, it's like everything is recorded. It's not like I have an agenda. When I started the journey, I wanted to present America as the greatest country in the world.
Really?
This is what I wanted. Because by the end of the day, America is the only one supposed to the Jews, and the Jews have been they hated the scapegoats of generation for all the
You're telling me that you really came onto this mission thinking that you might come out with a positive,
very positive book about America. This is what I hoped.
And the opposite happened.
And the opposite. I mean, it's like I totally lost respect for America. I mean, I respect America less than any other. I say it sadly because I personally gained a lot from America. I came to America with $400 to my name. I had nothing, and America offered me by the way it's built up. I ended up in doing great things in America. But by the end of the day, it's individuals always can do something. It's still that system, but the society at large, the American society, is basically the worst human being can achieve.
Whoa. Some would say that's the way to survive after all they have gone through, and that's
Sorry,
the way
this is not the way to survive. I mean, they could have chosen totally different ways. If you're coming from different cultures, you come from different backgrounds to America, let's not melt your culture. Keep your culture. You want to be Jew, be Jew. You want to be Arab, be Muslim, be Muslim. You want to be Polish, be Polish. You want to be German, be German. And let's live together. No, what America says is not that. Erase the past. You ain't no more German, you ain't no more Jewish. Forget what's Jewish here. We are not exclusive, we are inclusive. We are pluralistic, we are all the same. The fat people are actually skinny. You know what I'm saying? The old people are actually young. That's basically what the idea is, which is a little bit naive, but...
Tuva Tenenbaum, I think that, how there's a rating on movies, 18, R, PG. So I think nowadays there's also going to be a no PC. So this interview was no PC. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for visiting Israel.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.